Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
The passing of a beloved celebrity is deeply saddening, yet it becomes particularly challenging when an actor passes away amidst an ongoing movie production. Join us as we delve into the stories of 10 actors who tragically passed away during the production of their films, leaving behind unfinished legacies and challenging the creative teams to navigate through grief while completing their work. In the summer of 1982, Vic Morrow was hard at work on the set of the Twilight Zone movie. He was in the middle of filming a Vietnam War scene where he and two child actors tried to outrun a hostile helicopter. Unfortunately, special effects explosions on the ground disrupted the pilot's ability to fly and led to a violent crash. Vic Morrow and the two children died from their injuries, and 5 members of the production crew faced involuntary manslaughter charges for the incident, but were eventually found not guilty. When the Twilight Zone finally premiered a year later, it included none of the deceased children's scenes. Actor Mike Myers has become synonymous with Shrek, and it is hard to imagine anyone voicing the ogre other than Myers. What you might have not know is that prior to suffering a drug overdose in 1997, SNL alumni Chris Farley had actually recorded nearly all the dialogue for the beloved Green character.
You just shut up. See? No problem.
You're just displacing your anger.
Believe me, it's properly placed.
Following nearly an entire rewrite of the script, Myers was cast as Farley's replacement, and the rest is history, as the movie would go on to produce 3 sequels and 2 spin-offs throughout the years. As the son of a famous martial artist Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee had a lot to live up to in his acting career. Sadly, that career was cut short while filming 1994's movie The Crow. In capturing the moment when his character Eric is shot to death by a drug dealer, actor Michael Massey fired a prop gun at Lee which was supposed to shoot blanks. However, that firearm had been improperly loaded with a dummy projectile lodged inside, and when Massey fired, it sent the bullet out and it hit Lee in the abdomen. After 6 hours of unsuccessful surgery, Lee was declared dead. Although he had finished filming most of his scenes, script rewrites and a stunt double were still essential to completing The Crow after his death. Funny man John Candy died of a massive heart attack on March 4th in 1994, the same night that he filmed his final scene in the movie Wagons East. According to People magazine, Candy filmed his last scene for the movie, cooked a late-night dinner for his assistants to celebrate the end of the shooting, and phoned his 2 young kids back home in Los Angeles to say goodnight. Then the actor headed to bed, and sometime during the night, he suffered a heart attack in his sleep. The comedy set in the Wild West was released later that summer. Candy played the inebriated leader of a wagon train bent on getting a job from 2 successful businessmen. Although some believe that Candy offered the performance of a lifetime, the movie was widely panned by critics as an unworthy farewell to Candy, who had starred in nearly 40 films and was just 43 years old when he died. Heath Ledger shot to superstardom as the Joker in 2008's The Dark Knight, but he never got to experience his new level of fame. The actor was in the middle of filming his next project, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, when he died. While Ledger was filming The Dark Knight, he said in interviews that the scary role of the Joker contributed to his prescription drug use. He often became so immersed in the characters he played that it affected his daily life. Shortly after The Dark Knight wrapped, Ledger began filming The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus with director Terry Gilliam. In January 2008, with just a third of the movie filmed, Ledger went to bed in his apartment in New York City, where his housekeeper later found him dead. An autopsy revealed that Ledger died after an accidental and gradual overdose on a combination of painkillers, sleeping pills, and other prescription drugs, leading some to speculate that playing the Joker led to his death. His portrayal of the Joker remains one of the most iconic depictions of the classic Batman villain, for which he won a posthumous Oscar in 2009. Natalie Wood's acting career spanned 40 years and included hit films such as West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause. Sadly, her mysterious death at the time of filming the movie Brainstorm is one of the most enduring parts of her legacy. Authorities classified her death as an accidental drowning in 1981, but rumors still abound about what truly happened to Natalie. In fact, in 2011, 3 decades after she had drowned while boating with her then-husband Robert Wagner and fellow actor Christopher Walken, The LA County Sheriff's Department reopened the case when the man who had captained the yacht that night came forward to reveal that Wagner and Walken had attempted to cover up Wood's death. Despite that, the case still remains unsolved to this day. Blonde bombshell Marilyn Monroe, famous for her film roles, multiple marriages, and memorable serenading of President JFK, died on August 5, 1962 before she could finish filming Something's Gotta Give. The comedy, which was being directed by George Cukor and also starred Sid Charisse and Dean Martin, had been plagued with conflict from the start. At one point, Monroe was even fired. But Martin refused to work with any actress other than Monroe, so the famous beauty was rehired. However, before Monroe could resume her role, she was found dead in her Californian home as a result of an overdose of barbiturates. After Monroe's death, the filming of Something's Got to Give was eventually scrapped, but parts of the unfinished film were included in a 2001 documentary titled Marilyn: The Final Days. Young actor River Phoenix became a household name after appearing in Rob Reiner's Stand By Me and enjoyed a steady acting career until 1993. However, in the middle of filming his next movie Dark Blood, the actor's life came to a sudden end. Phoenix died of an overdose outside Johnny Depp's nightclub, the Viper Room, when the film was only 80% finished. That left the Dark Blood director with the challenging task of finishing the film without Phoenix, and Dark Blood didn't premiere until 2012, almost 20 years after Phoenix's death. Oliver Reed began his acting career in the 1960s and remained part of the Hollywood landscape for 3 decades. In 1999, the 61-year-old actor earned the role of Proximo in the historical epic film Gladiator. The role was an essential part of the hero's story, and Reed seemed to fit it perfectly. Sadly, the film that could have started the next chapter of his career ended up being Reed's final acting role. Reed collapsed on the floor of a bar in Malta and died of a heart attack after reportedly besting several Royal Navy sailors at arm wrestling and consuming copious amounts of alcohol. Because Proximo was considered a key character, a clause in the movie's insurance contract would have allowed the filmmakers to reshoot all of his scenes with another actor at the insurer's expense of about $25 million. However, most of the actors and crew were exhausted from the punishing schedule, and Sir Ridley Scott did not want to cut Reed from the movie. Thus, the script was rewritten and a body double and CGI were used to give Reed's character a plausible resolution. Fast and Furious fans were shocked by Paul Walker's death in 2013. The actor and his friend Roger Rodas were tragically lost when their car slammed into a lamppost and 2 trees before catching fire. The production of Furious 7 was placed on a temporary hiatus following the death of one of its stars. Because of Paul's shocking demise, the film's production team had to rely on a variety of tools to complete the film. CGI played a major role in completing what would have been Walker's final scenes, and his brothers served as body doubles where necessary. The filmmakers took the time to make sure these scenes properly honored the actor's legacy in the franchise, and Furious 7 managed to succeed despite his tragic absence.